I feel like I just went to church.
I feel like I just did a TED Talk. I'm like, yeah.
This is my dreams of like us having like our own church. Hallelujah.
You come in though,
The
and
church
like
of self-expression and
totally.
like a
You want to
glitter
come in
sequin
bondage
bra.
wear?
Yeah.
Fucking sweet. You want a sequin bra? Sweet. You want to wear a prom dress? Fucking have at her.
Amazing. You want to wear a chicken suit? Go for it.
Fuck, bitches. We got you.
We got you, boo.
And we're back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast.
No one's letting you forget in the club. That is for fucking sure.
Are you in lots and lots of pain? How bad is the pain?
Fuck you fucking asshat.
Having fun dancing in the floor.
Number one, why am I calling you? Number two, you ruined everything.
Oh, so good. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Unhinged Podcast with your hostesses, Christine Bano and myself, Kelsey Grant. We are so pumped for this new little project we've got going on. And to think that it started as just a podcast. We're like, let's just do a podcast. That'd be fun. And here we are. We birthed something completely different. I mean, we're still doing the podcast, which is great. And also there's so much more. So we wanted to hop on today and share with you a little bit about this unhinged era and the project that we've got, Club Unhinged. I'm so excited.
Episode number 1, bitches. Fuck yeah, yeah. I want to go into our like meow.
Yeah, Christine and I meow. That's how we answer the phone.
Every time you answer the phone, you're like, hello. I'm like, meow. Or like we're going to like Christmas tunes with the cat. Don't even know. And every time we laugh. Oh my gosh. Welcome, you guys. If you're listening to this, I mean, like, you're in for a bit of a ride. Buckle up. You may have seen Kelsey and I recently on social media and basically just everywhere we go talking about this absolutely fucking next level, immaculate, out of this world club that we're building. It literally was birthed. I mean, the actual unhinged birthing, I think, was when you messaged me when I was walking up Quarry Rock. I was on a hike and you asked me, you said like, I don't know, you're like, how's it going? And I was like, and I texted you back. I'm like, because I had to think about it. You know, when somebody asks you like, how's it doing? You're usually like, yeah, fine, I'm good. You asked me that. And I was like, I'm going to take a pause. And I was like, and I just texted you back. And I was like, I'm fully fucking unhinged right now in the best way. And you were like, I think you voiced, I don't even know, maybe voicemail. We were like going back and forth and we were dying. And it felt like something sparked. And then you and I, every time we got together, I mean, this is not even a month ago.
No, like, it's so fast.
It's so fast. You and I the other day on a story, I was like, yeah, I'm so excited to show you guys what we're working on behind the scenes. I'm like, that's a fucking lie. We're not even working on shit behind it. This has not been a long project. This is something that literally came out of the blue in the vortex and took you and I, like, it grabbed us and just took us. And even as I say that, I just want to say for anyone out there, like, really doing the work. And if you're feeling cock blocked, or if you're feeling like, man, like, what's my thing? Or I'm doing all this work, like, where's the breakthrough going to happen? Like, you and I have been doing the fucking work for so long and have stayed so plugged in and have not unplugged and have just, had so many business, like, wins and losses and fucking chaos and relationship stuff. And like, we've been through the ringer, but there was always, I think, something just completely still plugged in where it was like, I know the breakthrough, the inspiration, that feeling, that energy, that frequency, that thing that I've been waiting for is coming. And the way, as I just spoke that, I could feel like the energy, coming and grabbing us, but it could only come and grab us and move through us because you and I were fully fucking ready. We've been training. It's like going to the gym every day, training the muscles, becoming the leader, becoming authentic ourselves, saying no to bullshit in our lives that was not, meant for us, making massive fucking super hard decisions and being courageous basically every single day and showing up for the work, even when the breakthrough or the thing hadn't arrived yet. So
Yeah.
I just want to speak to that for a second, because I think that the reason you and I can create something so wild in literally, we've created a whole podcast membership and like offerings in literally like under 2 weeks. Like it's been, you and I have been on the phone, I mean, all day, but we just riff, and it's like our business meetings, quote unquote, are you and I joking about like dick jokes and this and being like, okay, so now that we're at the end of the
More
call, we realize we've
sex.
done totally, we've done nothing. So what do you think about, oh yeah, we're going to do that webinar. Okay, perfect. What date?
Cool.
This date. Okay, cool. What do you want to talk about? I don't know. We'll just kind of channel. Okay, sweet. Okay, bye. Like that's our fucking business meetings.
I know, it's immaculate. It's so immaculate because it really is in the flow. But like, as you
Yeah.
said, like we had to commit to living that bold life first. And it was fucking messy. And listen, I don't want to like paint the picture that now that we've had this like sparky moment that it's never going to be messy again. It's going to continue to be messy because that is what life is. And there's also this deep commitment, deep devotion that we both share for showing up fully, however that looks. And whatever life is kind of presenting us with, we're willing to go into it full on. Like we're literally all in there. Like we're like, let's get down in the fucking dirt and like figure this shit out. And I'm going to stay the course no matter what. And that doesn't mean that I've stayed in relationships or that I stay in projects or I stay in businesses. It means that there is this flexibility, this changeability, this knowing of like when something is done and complete and honoring that ending. And that's a hard fucking one to learn, isn't it? Jeez, of like knowing when to go, when to stay. And like it's such a part of like generating this bold self-expression, like living in your most authentic self, which that's like a major thread for me inside of this project is like coming into the fullest exalted expression of who you are at any given point in your journey. Like what does you being all in your life look like, all in your expression, like all the way out in who you truly are? And are you bold enough to do that? Are you literally willing to unhinge yourself from the shackles of your conditioning, of all the identities or like these ideas that were imposed onto you as to who you should become or what you should want for your life? Like what if you just said fuck it and I'm going to do what I want? Fuck it, I'm going to live my life by my design. Fuck it, like I'm going to literally unhinge myself from everything that's just not true for me and let my authentic essence literally out in the world, like uncage that beautiful, beautiful fucking beast. Like let her out of the cage.
Oh, so many things you touched on. I want to circle back to the thing about letting things go, because again, this just feels like part of the journey. And I think that there's a lot of people right now in this state. I think the last, just as you were speaking, I was like feeling like I was getting some channeling messages coming through intuitive stuff. It was like, if you look back, everything happens for a reason. Back in 2020, back in like, I feel like it's been building, but since 2020 to now, 2024, it's almost like the universe, the pendulum swings. It's like, I'm going to fuck with you. I'm going to cage you so deeply. I'm going to cage you in your relationship. I'm going to show you what's actually in your relationship by making you literally live with somebody and not have the freedom. I'm going to show you by you can't leave. And I'm going to show you your job being, what you thought was so secure, your like corporate job or this or that. I'm going to show you that your ideas and your beliefs about the world are absolutely like illusions that were crafted from the like disempowered generations before you. I'm going to show you what it feels like to be so deeply like outside of yourself and have no control. Like it's like if I felt like the universe was like, let me bring you to your knees and show you where you're not authentic, where you're caging yourself, where your life is actually not like for your greatest and highest. And then it was relentless. 2021, 2022. I mean, 2023 was a fucking dumpster fire for me. It was nuts. And what it feels like right now, and I think the reason I'm so excited to build this with you, Kelsey, is because through that time, I wasn't sitting at home, and this is no judgment to anyone who was, but I wasn't sitting at home like getting shattered on my couch, just being like, well, I guess I'm fucking rolling with a people's court and I'm going to sit and watch and eat ding dongs all day. I was just like, let me dive in. I'm going to go into the deepest work of my life and see and really get clean, super squeaky clean about like, where the fuck am I like not myself? Where am I shutting down? What relationships don't serve me? What, my business, all the things. I had to get really, go into that. And it feels like the pendulum is swinging into the opposite direction, where now like people have been suppressed, people have been sick, people are like still in like a trauma response from what happened in the last 4 years. And now the universe is calling on people who have been doing the work to say, all right, it's time to wake people the fuck up. We've squeezed them and we've pushed them into a corner. They're in a great spot. Let's unleash people. Let's uncage them. Like now it's the time to say, fuck this shit. I'm so tired of living by the standards and the old paradigm and the linear ways of thinking and the traditional, like, go to school, get a job, go to a corporate, have your your boy and your girl and your dog and your fucking fence, and then go and, like get the raise and maybe make 100K a year and then maybe go and do this thing and, have some grandkids and then get your pension and basically just sit in Florida. Like, I'm sorry, absolutely not. And I think hard pass, and that people are really waking up to that right now. And this is, I guess, a really big part of what we're creating is like, this is not a movement to become Kelsey and I or to adopt our beliefs or what, because my beliefs are changing fucking every day. Every day I wake up, I'm like, I'm constantly shedding shit. I'm like, oh, okay, well, shit, I can, my consciousness has changed. So this isn't like you come and we're the leaders and we're going to offer you some programs and you can take them and maybe you'll be a bit better. This is us being like, we're willing to take the risk to go out and to be seen and heard, which for me, and I'm sure like I probably could say for you as well, was terrifying and completely unsafe as a child. Like I got bullied for being who I was. So this is like a massive like stand for that. But we're like the ones willing to take the risk and basically already cancel ourselves. Like I've already kind of pre-canceled myself. Like I'm already going to go ahead and cancel myself because there are people who are going to fucking hate me.
Yeah.
They're going to literally hear my voice and be like, oh my God, I cannot stand her. She is so annoying. And I want to punch her in the face. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I've done that my whole life. I am so tired of censoring who I am and what I think is fun and what I enjoy. And I'm still learning about that. I am not completely, unleashed in full expression, but I feel like every day I'm walking more and more towards that. And that's what we want to invite you to come join us with, is like, let's find out in Kelsey and I's field and what the frequency we're carrying is. Like, let's find out in a safe way where you're going to be held and you're going to be, honored and witnessed. This is for you to come alive. Like, this is for you to say, I'm tired of subscribing to the old way of doing my life. And I'm curious about what's possible for me. What if I started saying the things I actually meant? What if I started telling the people that I actually love them? What if I actually ended up, leaving that soul sucking job? Like at one point in my career, I was stapling bubble wrap. I was sitting at a fucking desk in front of a computer with neon lights. And my partner at the time called and he said, what are you doing right now? And I said, I'm stapling bubble wrap. And he's like, what do you mean stapling bubble wrap? I'm like, I have a stapler in one hand and bubble wrap that that you send things in. I'm stapling it. He's like, you need to leave your job. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm happy.
I'm fine.
I'm frustrated, insecure, neurotic, and emotional, but I'm so fine. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? And I think we're waking up to that right now. And what we're learning right now is that like authenticity, like people talk about manifesting and they talk about frequency. And I'm sure you've heard this if you're listening, that you must have some sort of idea about this, but like everything is energy. But if you want to manifest and you want to attract things into your life and you're finding it hard right now and you're having like a hard time doing that, or you're like, what the hell? I don't understand this concept. We manifest 24/7 all day, every day. We're master manifestors. The thing is, we are manifesting from the frequency in which we've subscribed to, which is very outdated, very old, and usually has nothing to do with us. So authenticity is the highest vibrational frequency. So the more you become, the more easily you manifest, you attract things that you want, relationships, people. And if you're actually expressing your fucking self, guess what? Your business is going to thrive, your clients, because you're going to weed out anyone who can't stand you. If you have to, if you in your relationships or in your business, and I'm speaking from experience here, have become this molded, constricted version of yourself, and that's the way you're operating from, it's exhausting. And that's why people are so burnt out, because every day they have to throw on the mask and pretend to be the person who got into the marriage or got into the business or got into the thing. And they have to be like, oh yeah, right, this is me. I have to pretend to be this today, and I have to pretend to like these things. And it's not your fault for getting yourself into that, but it is your responsibility to get yourself fucking out of that. And this is what we're here for, is to say, let's help you design a life that you're fucking obsessed with, relationships you're obsessed with, business you're obsessed with, and like live your fucking life, boo. Like be happy, because people, there's 8+ billion people on the planet. You have people who are going to be obsessed with you. Your job is not to like weed out the people who aren't, or to try to like, placate or to people please to them and their standards. It's just like, no, like you want to experience freedom and pure fucking unadulterated joy and manifest your dream life, then just fucking become you. And that might be going out and drinking spicy margaritas. Like, that might be going out and being fucking crazy and swearing and whatever it looks like for you. It's not about you becoming one of us, it's you becoming you. And I guarantee you with every bone in my body that your life will exponentially improve.
I feel like I just went to church.
I feel like I just did a TED Talk. I'm like,
This is my dreams of like us having like our own church. Hallelujah.
You come in though,
the church of self-expression, and
totally.
like
you want to come in bondage wear? Fucking sweet. You want a sequin bra? Sweet. You want to wear a prom dress? Fucking have at it.
Amazing. You want to wear a chicken suit? Go for it.
Cluck, cluck, bitches. We got you, boo.
And that's just it. Like there's so much to what you just shared. And I think a big part of like how this sparked for us as well is that we were feeling so uninspired by the industry. So we exist in this personal development, relational development, spirituality, manifestation industry. And it is so fucking boring and vanilla and flatlined right now, because everyone's trying not to get canceled. And they're like, oh, let me just like look outside of myself to see what everybody else is doing. What's working for this creator? Okay, so they did this type of reel, or they did this type of post. So let me just regurgitate what they're doing. Let me copy it, paste it, and then put it out to my network, and that should work. But it doesn't work because it's not your authentic expression. It'll only work if it's coming from the truth of who you are. And you can't be copying other people. Now, there's a difference between like being inspired. Like there are people I see on the internet all the time, and they inspire me, and I'm like, and then it triggers something in me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go make this thing. But I'm not taking their exact structure or their exact words or their exact formula and just like slapping my name and my brand on it and then hoping and praying for the fucking best. Like, no. And I'm tired of like going on social media and just seeing the same fucking shit over and over and over. Like, where's you in that? Yeah. And especially in the world of like online entrepreneurs, this really like grinds my fucking gears, because I know that there's so much more to that coach, to that teacher, to that mentor than what they're putting forward on their social media. And this is how you get yourself into fucking trouble, because if the way that you're presenting in the world is not integrated in your day-to-day life, or if it's like point blank different, when people meet you in real life, they're going to be like, what the fuck is this shit? Get me the fuck out of here. Like, this person did a bait and switch on me, which you did. You fucking did.
You put up the profile photo of the model and you showed up and you were the troll. That does not work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It
They're
doesn't
gonna
work.
get found. Eventually, they're gonna
You're
find
gonna
out.
get found
and
out.
yeah, and that's a living hell to live in.
It is.
When you're in that state, when you're and I'm gonna out myself right now. I have done not that. I haven't taken anybody's, nothing like that, but there's times I've created things where it wasn't coming from my deepest truth, and I couldn't back it. I wouldn't fully put it out there. I wouldn't sell it fully.
Yep.
I
Yep,
wouldn't,
same.
because there was something in me that was just like, is this really me, and is this what I really care about, or is this, or am I even going to sell this because it, I don't know, it sounds good, and it sounds, these words are very buzzy right now. And for me, for human design, for me as a manifester, and you too, that is like probably the most cruel thing I could do to myself, because you and I are innovators, we are trailblazers. That is our natural nature. And when we are looking to others to source inspiration,
Yeah.
it is against every grain of who we are.
Yeah, it doesn't work. And I love what you just said about, like, eventually you are going to be found out. And this happens in relationships too, all the time. People put up a front of who they think the other person will want to choose. And then they work so hard to construct an identity around that. And eventually you can't maintain that anymore. Eventually the cracks start to crack and the truth starts to come out. I remember, and I've told this story before, but I dated this guy in my mid 20s, and I didn't know who I was at the time. I mean, I was fucking 24, I think. Like, who fucking knows? But he had more clarity as to who he was and like what he liked. And I was like, oh, this is great. I'll just kind of adopt what he likes. His likes become my likes. And there were some things in there that I ended up genuinely liking, but there was this like chameleon sort of energy that I was really, really playing with at that time of my life. And so I just morphed myself into what I thought that he wanted me to be. And then we were in a band together, and I would come to band practice twice a week, and he'd be like, Kelsey, every time you show up here, you literally look like a different person. Like, your face changes, even like your eyes change color. He's like, it's the wildest thing. Like your face physically changes, your energy changes, how you dress changes. Like, there's this like very dynamic energy to you. I'm like, yeah. So like me getting kind of confirmation and like some approval for that, then I'm like, okay, let's keep rolling with this, until it was like 3.5 years into our relationship. And I started to have my awakening, and the more authentic parts of me were starting to come out. And I remember us having a very sobering conversation with each other one night where he was like, Kelsey, you are not the person that I agreed to date.
Ooh.
And it's true. It was true though. Like, and it was the first time in my life that I didn't fight it, because I knew that he had struck something that, yeah, it was hard to hear, but it was also so deeply honest of like, you're right. Like, I have been performing for 3.5 years with you. I have enrolled you into a false self. And now I am starting to take the layers of that off and reveal my most authentic self with you. And you don't like it because that's not what you signed up for. And this is what gets people into so much fucking trouble relationally, is when they bring that false self from the start. They enroll someone into the false self. And so then you have two choices. You either have to maintain the false self in order to maintain the relationship, or you reveal your authentic self and risk losing that relationship. Or you can do the third option, which is be authentic from the start. And we're not judging, because obviously both of us have done this pattern to a degree. And so we're not judging if you're choosing the path of like, I think I'd like to wear a bunch of masks here and like, let me just perform for belonging and pretend I'm something that I'm not. And then once I've got you locked in, then I'm going to flip the fucking switch, and you'll be like so emotionally entangled with me that it will be hard for you to leave. It'll be hard for me to leave. And so then we stay stuck in this bound relationship where it becomes that vanilla, that flat line, that muted shades of fucking gray, instead of a life and a relationship that is like in full living technicolor. And like, I think what you and I are up to is like the full technicolor life.
Oh, this is why I've always been so obsessed with the rainbow.
Yeah. Yeah. For real. Same.
Okay, I have to laugh so hard when you said just a second ago, you said, first of all, I just want to say, let's change shades of gray to shades of beige.
Oh, okay.
Different shades of beige in our relationships. And the other thing I want to say is you said, you and I have both exercised this pattern to a degree. And I just would like to correct you that I have exercised this pattern. I am so deep in that. I am so deeply from like, I mean, I
Familiar.
have worked that pattern. I have beaten that pattern to the fucking ground. Like,
Yes.
Talk about performing. I mean, you just nailed in what you said. I performed when I learned at a very young age that I was not accepted by my peers, and it felt like family. Like I didn't feel, I felt so, I was overweight. I hated my body. When I realized that, there was this moment where I'm like, who I am is broken, and like there's something fundamentally wrong with me, clearly, and I hate my body, and I hate the like I hated being overweight. And I remember dissociation was my favorite trauma response, but it was just like to survive, right? Like I have a lot of compassion for that self. But when I look back at that version, I'm like, holy shit, like I learned from a very young age that if I was going to have friends, or I was going to have connection, I had to perform.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been performing my whole fucking life. I mean, up until recently, but there was just like, performance. And so when I look back, I'm like, holy shit, chameleon. I mean, who did you need me to be? I would get into friendships and we'd be like so deep in friendship, and whatever they did, whatever music they liked, whatever men, everything, I was just like, this is amazing. I get to become you. And then like I had no sense of self. And then same thing in high school. I mean, I didn't care about grades. I didn't care about really anything. I cared about belonging, and that meant at any cost. So whoever people needed me to be, I would be. And that bled into relationships. And I remember one time, I'm not negating his behavior because he's a fucking dick, but I dated this psycho, like super jacked fucking psycho.
Uh-huh.
Amazing body, psycho. And he was like a rageaholic. And I remember him one time, he was cheating on me. I mean, like, and I remember like seeing like condom wrappers, and I was like, maybe it was just something else, because I'm not willing to leave this relationship.
Yeah. I need to be delusional.
And so I remember him saying to me one time, I can't remember, I called him out on something. No, I didn't call him out. I was like, probably said anything, and he fucking raged. And he was like, well, I don't even know who the fuck you are. Like, you have no interest. You don't like anything. I don't know anything about like, and I remember thinking like, I was so like, you're such an asshole. And it's so mean for somebody to say that. But there was, like you said, there's a chord that got struck where I'm like, you're fucking right. I don't know who I am. And it's a really scary thing to say, but I think that a lot of people are in that state right now. They're waking up, they're having these spiritual awakenings, they're having these moments of like, who the fuck am I? Why am I so unhappy? Do I have chronic anxiety? Why do I have depression? Why do I have, why does my body feel like, why am I trying all these diets and these fads and cold plunging and all these things, and I'm still not changing, or I don't understand what it is? And it's like, fucking sweetheart, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. It's just that you have been, from 0 to 7, we download our subconscious mind. You have been computer programmed to believe you need to be something, or here's some limiting beliefs, and here's some false beliefs. And some beliefs are great. If we have, more conscious parents, that's amazing. But like, if you look at history, it's not been like a let's maximize pleasure. It's a let's minimize pain and hide and like not be seen and just do what we're told. And so there's a mass awakening happening right now where it's like, if you've gotten yourself into a bit of a ditch, it's not your fault, and it is your responsibility to get yourself out of there. And that's where I feel like we really come in, because we fast, like when I look at this, I'm like, when I think of what we really offer people, and there's so many things, but like you and I are both very psychic, and we can see with people as well, and energetic. We read energy. Like we can see, like I can identify a block in somebody within seconds. Like I went in the other day and I saw this lady who's a practitioner, and I said, she was like, oh, I just keep dating these guys and it's this and the same thing. And I guess I'll have to, and you could see that just the like, oh, and I said to her, I was like, I can feel energetically the back of you, like there's, anyways, it's just like in your heart, there's this block. And within seconds, she's like, oh my fucking, like, I think you and I have this great ability to be able to guide people from where they're feeling kind of like lost, or, I mean, different stages. You and I can lead a lot of different people in different stages, which is why we develop these 3 different tiers. But wherever you are in your journey, you and I have like a really, I think, cool way of supporting people and helping them identify like the simplest, easiest path to get out of the fucking ditch. There's people who are getting out of the ditch. There's people who are already out of the ditch and are like, I want to build this like fucking rainbow path. And then there's people who are like, I'm on the rainbow path and I want to build in a fucking empire that's massively based on authenticity. So that's why we developed these kind of 3, because people were like, you need to niche down. And I was like, I can't. I can't. I'm trying. And I know everyone's telling me, but I can't. So I'm like,
that's the old fucking paradigm.
Yes. And I'm like, this is why we designed the membership the way we did, because I'm like, I can help that person in I can help that person. And then I can also help that person. And I love variety. I'm a variety person. Like if I go for dinner, I'm begging somebody, do you want to share some appetizers? Do you want to share some, like, I love variety is the spice of life. So I think you and I are really here to, like, this movement that we're creating is around helping people unleash authenticity, giving, not that people need a permission slip, but you and I giving ourselves permission slips, I think ripples out to other people being like, oh, okay, like I can give myself permission to start showing up more as me. Like, I think that's really where we are right now, is like, we want you to come in and find out who you are and to know that you're not alone. And that if you are going through something that's shitty, a breakup, or you're feeling uninspired, or you feel like the business that you, or the life that you've created for yourself so consciously, quote unquote, is crumbling, or you're trying to grip onto it, or like you feel terrified
by it.
Caged, exactly. That's where we're like, we want to help you walk out of that and to like really, really design a life that you love. And that might look so different from somebody else in the club, or me, or Kelsey. It's not about like, this is a method that one size fits all. This is actually the opposite of it. It's like principles and the things that you and I teach are not like there to empower you coming in to have these tools and these practices that, like, you don't even need us. Like, if you want, obviously, hopefully you never want to leave, because there's so many consciousness can always evolve. And I think you and I as leaders, the great thing about us is that we are continuously, like, we're constantly willing to say, I fucked up, or here's my mess, or here's the story that I just think I walked myself through. But you and I are all like committed to the journey and the path of constant evolution of ourselves and our consciousness. So I think that that's something where we're always bringing fresh content, because I'm like, oh shit, I just walked through that fucking portal.
Yeah, here you go.
And I think that you and I also teach more through storytelling, and through ways that are a little more unconventional, because like, you know, which I think lands, because again, I personally learn when I hear stories from people and I hear how they take principles that are sometimes very hard to digest. Like, that's again another thing I think we do really well, is we simplify these terms, these principles, these ideologies out there that can be, I found them horrendously complicated. I'd read like a spiritual book and I'd be like, I am more confused at 10 pages in. How does this apply to me? Because all I know right now is that my life is a dumpster fire and I feel like I have anxiety and panic attacks. And reading this book is actually giving me more anxiety.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this applies to me. Like, how does this work? How do the mechanics, how do I integrate this into my life? And I think that that's, again, like, you and I are identifying, we've been in the personal development industry for, you know, decade plus, right? Like, for a very long time. And so I think that we're seeing where these gaps and these holes, and like my curiosity always lied in like, why are people not changing and transforming? So that's why I went deeper and I started learning about trauma and the nervous system and so many deeper things that I don't necessarily, I'm not like a master at teaching those necessarily, but I understand them and I've transformed myself enough to understand how to use them in your everyday life that's simple and easy to understand versus giving you like 1,000 fucking checklists to do, which is
Mhm.
creates more anxiety. So anyways.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm so with you on this train. And, you know, I think one of our original things is like making personal development great again. And, you know, there's a lot of truth in that to us of like, it gets to be fun, it gets to be playful, it also like gets to hold you in those very tender moments. Like it gets to be all of it, not just one dimensional. And I think I completely agree with you in terms of like our ability to distill down these very big concepts into the practical application of them. Like that is something that I did notice about myself like years ago of like, oh, like I have this ability to translate
Mm.
this information in a way that people can digest it and more importantly, implement it. And without implementation, it will never get integrated. So if you don't know how to implement the things that you're learning, then they're never going to become integrated parts of who you are. They're not going to become those automatic habits and ways of being because there's this big piece missing of like you can understand it intellectually, but you don't understand it in your emotional world and your somatic world. And you probably also have all of these like trap doors, booby traps that are like designed to prevent you from integrating that material. And so to have two facilitators who understand how that whole fucking system works and who also have like really impeccable sight in the ability to see what's going on and understand it and also just not take it fucking personally when those moments happen. And we still will relate to like the most exalted version of yourself while holding you in your human mess and like let it be messy, let it, you know, be this process of self-discovery. Like kids don't care about it being like perfectly manicured. Like they're just in the fucking sandbox playing. They're in the dirt. They're literally putting rocks in their mouths or like eating worms. Like they don't fucking care. They're like, ooh, I'm exploring my environment. I'm getting to know it. And so that's the process of like coming into yourself is like that very childlike awe and wonder and curiosity of like, let me figure out who I am and what I'm made of when these old paradigms begin to shatter and fall away, which can be really confronting to the ego. If you've built a lot of identities or you've built a lot of relationships or you've built a career or a business around the false self, then there is this very like confronting crossroads that you get to of like, okay, well, you want the authenticity, but it will require a sacrifice. And are you willing to sacrifice what needs to be sacrificed in order to have the life, the relationship, and the business or career that you actually truly desire? And so I think with this community, we're speaking to those people who are at that crossroads, who are willing and committed to step onto the path of true transformation, knowing that they will have to sacrifice certain parts of their identity, certain ways of being, maybe certain relationships, maybe you know you're gonna have to fucking move to another country or move to another city to like really be in alignment with who you are. Like one of our best girlfriends, this happened to her over the pandemic. Like she could feel like how incongruent it was to be in Vancouver, and her soul had been calling her to Greece since forever. And so she just finally did it. She was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And she literally moved herself to the other side of the world and just figured it out. It's so fucking inspiring. We will totally have her on this podcast because her story is wild. But like she just went with it. Like she understood that in order to have the life that she knew in her heart was for her, it would require a sacrifice of leaving the city that she had always known, leaving the country that she had always known, even leaving her circle of friends. And it's not that we're not friends, like we're obviously still friends, but the dynamic shift when your friend lives on the other side of the world. But she was willing to do that because the cost of staying like compressed in this version of herself that she had outgrown was too high. And it was impacting every area of her life and her well-being and her mental health and her emotional health. And once she made that move, her whole world opened up. Things just started flowing for her again. And so we know that everyone who's kind of attracted into this field has that type of story in them. You may not be moving to another country. You may just need to move to a different house that you fucking like, or maybe a house that doesn't have fucking mold in it. I don't know. Like, but you got to get yourself out of the situations that you're almost you're settling. Like there's these situations and areas of life that we settle into. There's comfort there, there's familiarity there, but there isn't fulfillment. And to have a life that fucking lights you up in Technicolor, you've got to be fulfilled. You've got to be making big, bold moves on the daily, leaning into conversations that are uncomfortable, being able to name truth and like let truth and love lead your relationships, lead your life, lead your business decisions, and kind of be like throw up some middle fingers of like, fuck the rules and make your own. Like just because business has been done a certain way doesn't mean that that's what you're here to do. Like if you're in our field, you are a change maker, you are a rebel, you are a thought leader, you are a mover, you're a shaker, you are here to be a trailblazer. And in order to be a trailblazer, you can't take the map that's already been written and follow it and hope to fucking trailblaze. You literally have to trailblaze. You have to go into the unknown. You have to carve something new that has not existed yet. And it's so much easier to do that either in your life, in your relationships, or in business when you are surrounded by a community that fucking gets what you're up to and understands what that entire journey is going to require of you and can hold a container as you go through each stage of that process, which is really what Club Unhinged is set to serve in many, many ways, and be that permission slip to be fully in your most exalted, true self-expression.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to say that Kelsey and I love what you just said, Kelsey, so much. And Kelsey and I are not just sitting back and being like, yeah, you make all these moves. And you and I are just like, like last year, like was, when I say dumpster fire, it was insane. Like I made the decision in 1 year and it came up pretty much at the exact same time. Where I had to make the choice to leave my marriage, like to get a divorce, and also to sell and leave a business that I had for 8 years. And the marriage I had for 10 and the business I had for 8. And it was the hardest decision. I've got two kids. I've got a 7-year-old and at the time they were 6 and 1. So for me to make that decision was not easy. Like the old ideology around like, well, stay together for your kids and all this traditional programming. Am I fucking up my kids? What's going to happen? Oh my gosh, I've spent 8 years building this business. Like, you know, I mean, I'd call it identity death. I gave up 2 identities, being a wife and, you know, and having the family and all the things, and a business owner in a fitness, like I owned a fitness studio for 8 years. And so last year was, I mean, insanity. But again, like Kelsey, I'm sure has a million stories as well she can share, and we'll share those more in the club, like our personal, we're very open books with this stuff. But like we are leaders doing the work. We're not sitting back and like I have done a gazillion courses and a million things and I've done my own work. But at the end of the day, all of those courses were really nothing in comparison to when I actually had to get down and dirty and make those decisions. Because none of that, I could sit and do courses and certifications and whatever. But as soon as I started making those decisions, the way that I coach and my ability to even show up, and you and I being in this frequency to download the like messages that we are right now for the collective, it would have been impossible last year. I wouldn't have been ready for it. I wouldn't, because I was still living a life that was not in alignment. It was not in alignment. The relationship wasn't in alignment, and neither was the business anymore. And I was petrified to give up something that I had worked and sacrificed for and been through so much for. Like, there was so much history in both of them. And I had nothing on the other side of it. I had a coaching business that I created, which was great. And I run retreats, but like, there was no guarantees. There was no anything. It was like, you're probably gonna have to move and sell this brand new house that you just moved in. Like, all of these pieces were up in the air. And I remember just thinking, like, I can't imagine getting to being like in my late 90s, hopefully, or maybe 100 on my deathbed. And like, what would that woman be proud of? I do a lot of reverse engineering. Like, if I were to look back at my life and be like, I stayed in the things that I knew weren't meant for me, like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Right? Like, we came to this life, we don't know when the hourglass of sand is going to run out. And so I think so many people say, I'll do it when I will find, I'll go and take the vacation, or I'll do the thing, or I'll kind of step towards the thing that really lights me up when XYZ. We create these like illusions of these times where we're going to be ready. We're never fucking ready to do a scary thing ever. We have to exercise courage, because I will not, like, I think it's, I can't remember the exact book, but it's like the 10 regrets of the dying or something like that. And like, when this person interviewed all people on their death, like a bunch of people on their deathbed, they basically said the same thing. Their biggest regret was living a life that wasn't for them. Right. And it's like, I am not going to be one of those stories. I want to talk. I want my like grandkids to come to me when I'm like, in my late 90s, and I want them to say like, tell me about life. And I'll be like,
Which chapter?
I lived that bitch to the fucking bones. Like, I traveled and I did the things that lit me up, because when we do things that light us up and we step towards the uncomfortable thing and the things that we know are meant for us, life has this magical way of just starting to unfold in the most miraculous, incredible, life-changing ways. And I know it sounds cheesy and cliche, and it's like, yeah, just do what you like and what lights you up and you'll be okay, great. But it actually genuinely is true. Like, when I had to walk through the fire, and yes, I had to sit with the sadness and the grief and the deep pain, and I had to process, and I had to go through the first Christmases where I don't have the kids, and the, Christmas Eve alone and New Year's Eve alone. I had to go through some really shitty times to get to where I am. But I think that what I kept walking towards was this lighthouse of truth, where I'm like, it's like, when you start taking action, and even Kelsey was saying, yes, sometimes we do take big, bold moves, and sometimes they're little micro moves in a day, where it's like, in a moment you meet with somebody and you usually tell them this, and maybe in that one day you do something really courageous and bold for you, which is maybe just saying no instead of saying yes. Or maybe it's like, hey, can you pick up can you pick up my, or can you help me move or whatever? And you're like, no, I actually can't. Like, that might be your version of a fucking gigantic edge. And so I think the cool thing is like, Kelsey and I have walked micro edges, and we've done big, massive edges, and we can kind of meet you where you're at, which is why, again, we created the different tiers, because it's not going to be in service for you to jump. Sometimes we don't know this. I've walked into programs. I didn't need the program. I needed something that was going to hold me where I was. And so I think that, you guys are going to laugh, but you probably heard the names by now, but our first tier that we created is called Happy Hour Hottie. And we're kind of playing off this idea of a menu. So when you go to a club, there's or a restaurant, there's a menu. And we love the idea of having like, welcome to the club, and here is your menu. Sit down, take a seat. Like, what would you like? Like, right now, happy hour is on, and with happy hour, you're not going to get everything on the menu. You're going to have like a smaller but very potent and some delicious items on there. So with our happy hour hottie, we are doing like, that's where Kelsey and I are going to be offering things like our master classes, our like mini courses. I have a course called Slow the Fuck Down, which is like a 4-week embodiment journey to like slowing down. It's like, there's guided meditations and somatic work and like body work, where you can get used to like coming into contact with your body. Kelsey's got some amazing mini courses in there, and you also get a live call with us a month. You get like a live teaching. Kelsey and I'll be riffing on a certain topic. There'll be time for hot seat coaching and Q&A. So it's an amazing like low investment type of tier where you're getting a ton of value, like so much value, but it's not overwhelming. You don't have like a gazillion things to look at. You have like a really nice library, which we will continue to add to. We have guided meditations, things like that. So it's like, that's a really fun thing for somebody who's maybe more dabbling in personal development, or is looking for maybe something different in personal development, something a little spicier, something a little more easy to understand. What would you say about that tier? Is there anything I'm missing in that?
No, I think you nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the intro. Like, it's like, come on in, kind of get acquainted, get the vibe, and like essentially, like, you come in and it's like choose your own adventure. And this is kind of true for specifically like tiers 1 and 2. Like, you're choosing your own adventure in terms of what content you're kind of diving into in your library. So you get to kind of gravitate, and like, this is part of that authenticity thread of like, can you give yourself permission to be guided and watch where your intuition wants to take you in terms of the content that you're most drawn to right away, but also the content that confronts you or triggers you and that you're trying to avoid. And so it's a really great place to kind of get acquainted on that thread before you go into level 2, which
yeah, well, I mean, level 2 is a vibe in itself. I mean, and that one we're doing a founders rate right now as well. So which is amazing. It's like almost 50% off the regular rate. So like, it's an amazing opportunity for you to come in at that. And then our tier 2, like, and again, we want to make it accessible. We're like, okay, $47 US a month. Like, I would pay that for, I mean, I paid triple that for just one masterclass with some of
I pay that for a fucking drink at the Fairmont Hotel.
Well, that's what I mean. So you get your live workshop every month, plus you have a whole entire library of courses, and like some of the stuff in there, like I have a master class called Slow the Fuck, or not Slow the Fuck Down, how to feel your fucking feelings. So this is like, you don't know how you feel. I didn't know how I felt. So like, we have some really great, just really easy to understand and fun content in there. And then our tier 2 is on a founder's rate as well. This one is, I mean, it's just stupid, the rate. It's $97 a month. The happy hour hottie, there's no commitments. You can come in as you please. You can come in for a month and leave. You can come in forever and stay. The thing is that if you do leave, then in any of these tiers with the founders members rate, is you will lose that. Like, if you do leave and come back, you are going to lose that rate. The second one is Rich Bitch Rebel. So again, having so much fun with that. But this is where you're going to get everything in the tier 1. So all the master classes and everything. The difference is you're getting 3 live calls a month with us. So you are getting an embodiment session with Kelsey. These are absolute magic. This is where you're taking the work you're learning and you are integrating it into your body. So these are like, Kelsey's got this amazing method that she does. You're getting the live workshop with the Q&A, and then you're also getting a live coaching, hot seat coaching call with Kelsey and I. So this is where you get to ask questions. We're doing live coaching, and Kelsey and I are on fire. We're like super psychic. Like, we can read people instantly. So like, you're going to get the value. You and I charge like $1,000 an hour basically for our coaching. So like, this is an incredible way for you to come in and get like some insane value. We do those every single month. Plus you have access to our like signature best-selling courses. So like, I have 2 3-month courses that I designed called Intuition Container and Transformation Container. You get access to all of those. There's journal prompts, there's videos. Like, these go deeper. Kelsey's got, I'll let you talk a little bit about yours, but like, you've got some incredible signature courses in there. There's so much content. So you're getting like everything in tier 1, plus our signature best-selling programs and the 3 live calls. And that is like, I'm sorry, but the value for that is, we want,
off
but again,
the fucking chart,
off the chains. But you and I wanted to create that. We wanted to make the value. We wanted to know that when we were talking about this, there was no doubt, where it's a no-brainer. We wanted to make this no-brainer. That one will be going up to $197 eventually, when we decide. And so that will be the original rate of it. So when you lock in at 97, it is a 6-month minimum commitment. So 6 months in there. And the reason being is that some of the work, you know, when you get into triggers, you get into some of these topics, like, we want you to commit to yourself, right? Like, so often we get confronted with something, or something comes up and the ego's like, I'm fucking out of here. And so this is a way for you to stay committed to yourself and to work through some of those edges that you meet. And we will meet you there. You know, you and I have done a ton of work on that. So what courses? You've got a couple courses in there that are
I've got the Pleasure Alchemy course in there, which is, I think it's a 4-week course. We got overfunctioning 101. We're going to throw mutually met in there. There's also like recovering from rejection, navigating emotional manipulation. And rebuilding trust. So like this tier is very relational, and that's why it's called Rich Bitch Rebel, because in order to be rich in any form, your relationships have to be fucking dialed. Like if your relationships are off the rails, it impacts everything that you create. So it is a more relationally focused tier in terms of the content that's in there, so that we can get into those edges, we can get into those spaces, because without like a really strong relational foundation within yourself, so the relationship to yourself, but also the relationship to other people, creating that abundance on every level is going to be really challenging, and we want you to fucking thrive. So we're like, let's just throw that into tier 2 and, set people up to win.
Yeah.
And
like you said, like authenticity is born from knowing the self being in relationship with itself and others, right? So again, like it's hard to be authentic and fully expressed when you can't even look at yourself. So this is like a great way to dive into self and to relationship with others, because that also affects everything in your life.
100%.
Yeah.
And then we've got tier 3.
Tier 3. So we're not starting tier 3 until May. So that's going to be, we're in the process of just you can still come in and lock in the founders rate, which is $347 a month. And that is a year commitment. And again, like this is going to be a smaller container where Kelsey and I are going to be really close proximity to you. We're going to be like, I mean, this is a mastermind, really. This is the tier for you if you are either an aspiring entrepreneur or where you already are an entrepreneur who is like really dedicated to either like overhauling your business or looking to tweak your business or to layer in more authenticity into who you are, the way you speak online, the way you speak, the way you sell. Like, I mean, you and I have so much fun with this, but we are going to be masterminding with you. So you get everything in tier 2, tier 1, plus you get mastermind calls with us. You're going to have live coaching with us. I mean, hot seat coaching in there as well. So, and specifically towards you and your business and what you're moving through, or if you need to do block clearing, like, I love working with people, entrepreneurs, on like things like success blocks. So I see it as like the classic. They're like, I have this business problem. I'm like, do you? Or actually, your like 7-year-old is speaking to me right now. She's pissed. So we're going to go in energetically. We're going to clear that block. And then like, I've had so many clients who message me after our sessions and they're like, I had like 3 new clients in. I just had a 50K retainer from somebody like this. It's absolutely insanity what starts to come through when you start clearing the emotional and energetic blocks that you've been holding on to in your business. So like, these are really cool, very unique offerings. It's not a traditional mastermind. We're not sitting there and being like, wah, wah, here's the method, do the thing. We are coaching you to thrive. We want your business. We want you and your business to be making a fuck ton of money. We want you to be like serving people, making an impact, having fun, falling back in love with business and yourself or your career, whatever it is, right? So it's just like, what do you want to build? And this could be a passion project. Like I have a lot of people who are very successful in careers and are really, really desiring to build a podcast. They want to write a book. They want to, create another revenue stream. So you don't like, it's just connect with us if you're interested, but it's a 1-year commitment. And reason being is that we really, we're going to go all in with you. You're going to see massive success. And again, when we looked at the like painful price, you guys, this is under $4,000 for a year with us. It's like
insane.
777 or something for a year of everything in the club, like all your courses, all your live stuff. I mean, you're going to have like, you have an abundance of support. A year with us, your business. I mean, if you do, like, I can't even imagine you not like 20xing your investment.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom it. I can't even fathom it. Like the masterminds that I'm in are like, or like that. It's like 20K for a 3-month mastermind, right? Like we are disrupting the industry because I'm like, I cannot stand another amazing, incredible person with wicked gifts sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Because there's some block or there's something, or they're scared of being visible or they're scared of rejection, or they've got something that they're or they don't know what to put in their offer suite, or they need, like, you and I are like zing zing. Like, I mean, the amount of shit that we download for people, I've downloaded business names, ideas for people. I've given people like a whole course. I'm like, this is, and they're like, whoa, like this is where you are going to come alive, and you're going to be so held and so supported in this container. So, I mean, this is, I mean, like, run, don't walk is what I'm saying. If you're an entrepreneur who's looking to fully express, I mean, like, get on it. You also, if you sign up now, you're also getting a free month before in the club as well. So you're getting an extra month. You're going to get 13 months versus 12. So get your ass in there. We want to see you. I'm just like, everything we're creating, I'm obsessed.
Same.
Anyways,
and
this is so fun.
the final piece of that entrepreneur mastermind is that we are going to be stoking that erotic energy. So like, that is where I'm really going to come in and start weaving and working with everyone, because if your creative erotic energy is not online, it is very hard to create and design the offers that are most authentic for you, which is why we've called it the erotic entrepreneur. like the erotically expressed entrepreneur. Like, there's a reason why that's the energy, so that you can play with your turn on. You can play with that feeling of literally being lit up from the inside out and be so fucking hot for your business, like so fucking hot for your clients, not like crossing boundaries, but like you're just like so juiced up by what you're creating that you never have to worry about like hitting that flatline beige town ever again. Like, it's a very powerful, potent frequency that we're working with there. And I mean, we've been stoking that erotic energy within ourselves. And so, and watching how it like weaves in our businesses as well. And we want to teach you and like really guide that process so that you can explore how that looks for you.
Yes. And that, like we said, right now it's 347. I think it's going up to like almost double that. So like, again, like, we get in on these. I mean, like, these are just, they're so fun. We're so excited. This is genuinely coming from our hearts and like souls. Like, this is like a very soul-led, soul-inspired. This doesn't feel like Christine and Kelsey. This feels like the universe being like, all right, bitches, let's go. And so that's our whole thing, is I think we want to make it really fun, energized, energetic. And it's really cool to see already the feedback from people. We've had people join and they're so excited. I'm getting messages all the time being like, I'm in and I'm so excited. I can feel the frequency. I don't know exactly what you guys are creating, but I'm in. And it's just such a fun feeling, because it's like, it's like taking a match and just lighting somebody else and lighting them, and then they light other people. And it's cool to see that ripple. So we really hope that you join us. And if you know anybody who could use something like this in their life, please share. We love referrals. We take care of our people very well. We want to, we're going to be doing fun little giveaways, live coach, you and I we talked about that, like even the community space or people sharing and things like that. We're going to be doing like coaching giveaways and so many fun things for people. We really appreciate it. So I appreciate you for listening. If you're still here,
exactly. If you made it this far, there's a high probability that you should probably be in the club with us.
Hundo P, you need to be hanging out with us. And that's, I just want to speak to that really quick, is that it's easy to sit at home and listen to a podcast or read a book, but this is where there's going to be a level of accountability as well, where like, we've got you. And at least for me, it's not about what we do once. I could read a book and be inspired, or do a workshop and be inspired, and then I'm done. But for me, where I really found transformation is when I need people reminding me somewhere I can tap into a space and place and people that are reminding me of who the fuck I am and what I'm capable of, because we fall asleep at the wheel all day, every day. It's the way our bodies and subconscious is designed. We're meant to, it wants to conserve energy. It doesn't want it. So it's just like remembering that, to have that space is everything, that community of other people you get to see on the threads in our community of like epic shit that people are doing. Like, I've seen that, like, that inspired me to go have this hard conversation, or that person saying that thing inspired me to go and do that thing. And so it's like a place where you get to be like, damn, they did that thing. How can I not go and do that thing myself now? Because they're brave and bold. So I want to do it too.
Yeah.
Right. It's like that healthy competition where it's like, I want to go and do that as well. So we have that as well. So there's a lot of layers and built-in things. So wherever you are in your journey, we've got you. And we're so excited to welcome you in.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's going to be a wrap for podcast episode number 1, friends.
Whoop, whoop.
Join us for the next episode where we'll probably get into something even more unhinged.
Oh, we're gonna go fully fucking unhinged. Meow.
We'll talk to you soon, friends. Bye.
Bye.
All in all, we want to say thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you so much. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating. And we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you.
Bye.